Hello, welcome to the video. For this video we're going to do something a little bit different, and going forward there'll be something a little bit different, and that's I like retro video games and systems and electronics, and another one of my hobbies is 3D printing. And I've got a copymaster VORON kit, a VORON 0, and I'm going to document the build process. So in this first 3D printing video, we're going to look at how I've calibrated a homemade printer to get ready to print the ABS parts required to make a VORON. So as we can see here, I've got a few bits, and one of the tools I've got that we're going to start with is this, and it's a small rod. I don't know if this will focus properly. I got it off eBay, and it was only a couple of quid, and a guy made this, and this is for heat set inserts. So what you do is you screw this into your soldering iron, and then you can actually insert this into the heat set inserts and insert those hot inserts into 3D prints. Now the reason why I've got one of these is when people use those brass heat set inserts, what tends to happen is the heat leaches into the plastic immediately, the brass cools around your soldering iron, and then you rip the arsehole out of it trying to get it back out of the print. So really what you want is a parallel nub that you're able to go in, heat it up, put it in position, and then pull it out without pulling the guts out of your newly installed heat set. And as this kit has a lot of heat sets to inset into plastic, I thought the first thing I'm going to do is get one of these. Now this is for a Aldi based cheap soldering iron, so it's got a thread on it. I think it's M4, and like I said, it's just a piece of copper turned to copper, so this is going to be absolutely perfect. So that's the first tool we're going to need. The next thing is we're going to need to set up the printer. Now I went through a few trials and tribulations getting this set up because I've never done ABS on it, and it was a 1-hio duplicator, and well, I absolutely gutted the fucker. The only thing left was the frame and the control box. All the guts of the control box, everything I replaced myself. So yeah, so we had to set up an ABS profile and get this printing. So what I did was I printed a couple of calibration cubes, and it's not bad. There's a little bit of ringing. As you can see, the quality is pretty good. That works okay. The issue that I had to begin with was a issue of dimensional accuracy, and I compiled my own Marlin firmware, and it's on a MKS Gen L board, and well, it was not accurate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand over to the video that I took that showed how I set this up and how I changed from one cube to the next one to get a dimensionally accurate print. Right, so here we've got the 3D printer. It's currently heating up for ABS, and what I did was I printed, it's just an old 1-hio duplicator that I've gutted and literally kept the frame. So the rest of it's been rebuilt, but this is what I'm going to print the ABS parts on for the VORON. So what I did was I printed a calibration cube, and you can see here that I've got, yeah, 20.13 in the Z. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to alter some of the steps on it. So on Marlin you can go to Control, Motion, and you can come all the way down to steps in millimeter, and you can see that these values have changed slightly, and that's because I've just been playing with them. So normally the X and Y was 80.00 and the Z was 400. So all you do is you do a quick calculation with what you've got, what you want, and then you times that by your steps. So in this case, you'd say, right, I want 20 mil or 20.00. I've got, so it's 20.00 divided by 20.13 times your current steps. You see, when you divide what you've got against what you want, so 20.00 divided by 20.13 gives you 0.98 something. When you times that 0.98 by the number of current steps, it adjusts it downwards slightly by the same ratio that you're out. So what we're doing at the moment is we're just heating up for ABS so I can print a new calibration cube with the new step figures in, and then we're going to see how that comes out. Once I'm dimensionally accurate, we should be able to start printing the stuff for the Voron. So, in a bit. Right, so after I managed to get some decent prints going, I decided on printing a VORON cube. What happened was, once I got the dimensional accurateness done, I managed to get the accuracy. I thought I'd print a cube and then tune the accuracy. So I printed one of these cubes and it came out pretty damn well, but it is not accurate, not even close. So yeah, once I got the cube to print, I printed some calibration towers, and well, I printed 2 to be exact. 2 that I kept, the rest I binned, and I was tuning my retraction settings, and although it's probably difficult to see this on camera, there's actually quite a bit of difference between these, and it took, I think, 6 of these to get the perfect retraction setting, because I was actually retracting too much and losing some filament. So once I did that, I then set up for the final adjustment to my dimensional accuracy, and I'll show you that now. Right, so after pissing around with this 3D printer, I've done another cube after I have reset the steps per millimeter. So yeah, on now we're getting, yeah, look at that, 20.01. Damn, that's good. On the x-axis. On the y-axis we're getting 20.03. 19 point. That is so good, it's laughable. Look at that. There's a bit of ringing on it, but you know, look, fantastic. And on the z-axis, so look what we're getting here. What's that reading so high? Oh, there we go, 20.09. I've got a bit of a 20.07, that can't be right. 20.05, yeah, a little bit of variability there, but yeah, 20.07. That's fantastic. For the Voron, that's going to be superb. Now, what helped a lot was, if we can see here, I got some insulation under the bed. I was getting some thermal runaways, so yeah, now I can really clock this up, as you can see. So really, for ABS, we want to be doing the first layer at 115 on the bed, and then the rest at 110, and for the hot end we're going to be printing at 250. So yeah, let's get another test print done. So once I had the accuracy sorted, I then went back and I printed some more cubes, and I mean, who doesn't love a cube? So now we know that we're in you know, to 2 decimal places of accuracy, and the stuff for the Voron is quite tight. So I then started, I give up with all the calibration stuff at that point, because I knew that I was bang on. So what I did was I started printing ABS parts out, Now I used for these here and the parts that I'm using, I used eSun ABS Plus, and I used it in 2 colours. So obviously black, I mean obvious, and the other one is blue, a nice sort of pale blue, as you can see here. So yeah, so what happened was I added a brim, and I printed plates full. So as you can see, this is as it's come off the printer. Yeah, all looks pretty good, as you can see. Cleanup's very easy. Some of the larger parts took quite some time to go. Now I'm printing on print bite, so cleaning up was easy. I just used a box cutter or Stanley blade if you're in the UK, and just trimmed up round the brim. But you can just pull the brim off. So yeah, I've got a little bit of stringing on the bottom there, but I'll get rid of that one clean up. So what I did, let's see if I can show you. So on something like this, all you do is you can just go round and just pull off the brim, just like that. And I know it leaves this horrible shitty white discoloration, but this is so nice to cut, and so easy to cut with a box cutter. It's no problem at all. So you can just literally trim that up now, and then that part is complete and it's ready to rock and roll. And then you're just left with you know, a bit of shitty brim. So the parts clean up really nicely. By and large, they printed in the same orientation really well. I mean, some of the overhangs are a little bit janky, but I'll clean that up with a knife before I fit them. But as you can see, it's by and large quite good. And yeah, so the point I'm at now is I'm almost ready to start assembling the thing. And yeah, so I've got the tool for the heat sets. I drew this actually last night, and this is a small, dimensionally accurate to the VORON parts tool to allow me to insert the 15x15 box section and tighten it up and have it all remain nice and square to each other. So as you can see, that's going to be nice. You know, I'll just put the Allen key in there, spin it up, and it's going to save a little bit of time. Now what I did, this is a VORON part for the bed, and what I did was I took the STL model and measured across there, and then I applied the exact same size across there. So yeah, it's going to be pucker. Now, one of the things I did when I printed these off was to offer up a piece of 15mm extrusion, and it's a tight fit. It's not overly tight, it's not going to break the arsehole out of it or anything like that, but it is tight. So it doesn't really say in the instructions how tight it's got to be, how loose. So part of the reason for making this video is just to give you an idea of where I got to with it before I started making the kit. So yeah, now because I did actually build another FDM printer, albeit several years ago, I'm not new to 3D printing, and I'm not new to building things, so this is really not going to be too much of a problem. So I'm not going to stick to the regular build as is. Now I'm going to throw a few spanners in the works because I've got a different hot end. I've got a Revo quick change hot end, a Revo Voron, and that's going to go in. I've got that hideous looking fucking top hat thing that's going. We're not having none of that shit. So I've got a plexi and extrusion one from AliExpress to go on. So yeah, I'm going to change a few things as I build it, and yeah, so I'm going to document the build process over a course of videos. So yeah, so this is pretty much where I've got to, and yeah, going forward, the next video is going to start the build. So see you soon.